Dimakatso, good afternoon. This is clearly some good news for Vodacom customers. I mean, a gigabyte was 149 Rand, and then now it will be reduced to 99 Rands?
Absolutely, Dumela. Yet the question is being asked here if, this has gone far enough to make sure that those poor consumers are being included. We've heard from the Competition Commission saying that the purpose of this is to ensure competitiveness among the mobile operators, as well as to ensure economic inclusiveness for those poorer communities. Of course, Vodacom saying that this is a cost of about 2.7 billion Rand to consumers, which they can spend for anything else or more data. They've also announced, Dumelo, other zero-rated sites where consumers can benefit in terms of job seeking, in terms of education and the likes. But I do have with me the Competition Commissioner, Mr. Thembinkosi Bonakele, to give us further details. Sir, thank you very much for agreeing to talk to us. This is a huge deal on your part.
Yes, we're quite happy. We're quite happy with what we've got. The prices has been a big sore point, and I think that this agreement is quite significant in the sense that it drops those prices from, for an example, for a 1 giga from 149 to 99 rands. It's also big for access. There's quite a lot in terms of discounts. There is also a lot in terms of things like free SMSs, basic communication for citizens, and access to government websites.
But of course, you still have other operators who have not come on board. Where are your talks with regards to MTN and Telkom?
We're quite advanced with both MTN and Telkom. I'm hoping that literally within days we should be able to announce what the agreements would be like.
So you don't foresee that going to court?
No, I don't expect anybody to go to court. I mean, prices will come down. We've reached agreement with the largest operator. They have to respond anyway. Almost even without an agreement with us. But you know that this is quite a holistic package. We would still want to reach an agreement with them and see some of the benefits beyond just price, being factored into the agreement.
But also the issue of spectrum has come into question. The CEO of Vodacom making mention of that a lot. Are we confident that government will be able to release at least 4G this year and 5G, or will it be only 4G when they eventually go for auction?
I am confident. We have been in touch with ICASA, and they are quite determined to make sure that there is a release of spectrum before the end of the year.
Can you just talk to us about that zero rating of data? Which sectors, if you will, or customers will be affected? We've heard of tertiary institutions in terms of students there. We've heard of issues of home affairs, access to home affairs, of health. Just take us briefly through that, please.
Yeah, the access will be for all public universities, all public schools, as well as what you used to call TVET colleges. So educational institutions will get free access. This also extends to some emergency sites, so Department of Health sites, for example, that have this, some home affairs, even trade and industry, so far as registration of companies and things like that. So it's quite a wide spectrum of government services that will be made available through this deal.
And obviously there's been a lot of complaint about the high cost of data in South Africa. How long do you think it will take for us to get where the world is, where Africa is in terms of competitiveness, in terms of pricing, especially for those poor people who need access to the internet, for example, for job seeking and the like?
I think that the issue of access to digital markets and therefore the costs of access is going to be a continuous debate in South Africa and elsewhere in the world. But I think that this pushes us much closer to the ideal position. I think these price drops pretty much put us in line with some of our peer competitors in the world. And I still think that Once we get the spectrum allocated, we will see further price drop and drops that should make us really competitive as a country.
So thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate that. Tumelo, as you heard the Commissioner saying that this brings us closer to other countries around Africa and the world in terms of being competitive. But Tumelo, also just as a last shot, this is obviously good news for Vodacom, them being the first to go ahead with this, because it means that the likes of customers who may have left the mobile operator because of the high data costs may now be migrating back to Vodacom. So certainly benefits all around.
All righty then. Well, thank you so much. Our reporter Dimakatso Leshoro coming to us live after that briefing held by the Competition Commission that Vodacom will be reducing its data costs from 149 Rand, which is the cost of a gig, to 99 Rand, and this will be effective from the 1st of April.